Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's review is out of this world. We're going to Mars in this book for young adults published. Let me see. Unfortunately it doesn't look like it's saying, but it's 1945, I want to say. I mean 1946, 1948, because there was a TV show that was going on at the same, apparently, or earlier, something to that. Because this character has been around for quite a while. So it was started off apparently as a comic strip, and it became a TV series, and then we also have the books. But this is actually the full edition, but I only read the first book in this series, Standby for Mars. It's the Tom Corbett Space Cadets. And like I said, this is the Mega Pack version, which is easily purchased on Amazon Kindle. It has the first 9 books. No, wait. First 8. The 9th one is a little bit harder to find, I think due to, what was it? There is some reason. I apologize. It's been a while since I went and looked up all the information on that. But in this pack itself, there's 8 of the books, and then there's 2 other ones. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 7. Sorry, my apologies. Because I'm seeing that there's 3 other ones that are from different authors. But they're all space related in this one. So if you're looking for something that's kind of like Star Trek, if you will, like the original series, you've got your Kirk, your Spock, and your Bones, basically, and the 3 main characters in this, kind of. Tom Corbett isn't going around trying to flirt with every girl on the planet and all the other planets. Tom Corbett's not like that. So obviously they have each other differences. But if you're looking for like a friendship, that's what really brought the original Star Trek show. I guess you could say brought it to life, and it's amazingly famous for that friendship. The Spock, Bones, and Kirk. Tom Corbett definitely has it in this first book. You get to meet the characters, you get to know the characters, and technically it's what the characters, at least for me, the characters that really kept me reading. The characters were pretty engaging, they were unique, they were different, you get to see things, it's mostly from Tom's point of view, but you get to see things, and try to understand things from other people's point of view as well. And so it's, interesting to see how their goals and, how they contradict, I guess you could say, how they, what's the exact word I want to use? Can't seem to find it. Contrast, I guess, something like that. But how they fit together and everything like that. So, and then of course eventually, how it works out in the end, because these things do. So their character arcs is really what kept me reading this story, more so than the space travel. You know, it's not quite Star Trek, because it doesn't have all the exact same technology. Of course, this was written back in the 50s, so it doesn't have the transporter beams and, you know, all the hyperdrives and all that stuff. So it's a little bit more closer to what we've got now. Except there's life on other planets. And of course, this is like, what do I want to say? Almost as far to the future as yeah, okay, so the books were published in 1952. I finally found that information. So the first 7 are collected in this Kindle pack. The 8th one is unavailable at this time due to rights issues. That's what it was. So it doesn't. I don't think it says when exactly this takes place in the future. What part of the future it takes place in. But apparently, obviously, it's technically you could say it could fit into the Star Trek universe as part of the canon, like sometime before Star Trek Enterprise takes place, obviously, because that's kind of, it's got that feel to it. It kind of almost feels like Star Trek, just without a lot of the tech and a lot of the alien creatures. All the so-called aliens in this book are basically humans from other that have, you know, populated other planets. Mars, obviously, Standby for Mars is the name of this book. Mars is populated. There's Venus. I think it said the moon, Ganymede. And there's a few others, but they're like really briefly mentioned, so easily forgotten, unfortunately. But there are others that apparently were colonized by humans, and so you've got the different planets and, you know, the different types. Apparently Venus, well, of course, this is also based on information that they had of the planets at the time, so I very highly doubt you're going to find dinosaurs and jungles on Venus right now. And we certainly have found water on Mars, but not in a liquid form. But apparently, according to what they were saying, that they did have to work to make sure it was habitable for humans. Still some differences, obviously, but sorry, if I talk too fast I start to yawn. And then I lost my train of thought. I apologize. Had this whole thing planned out, and it's just like I start going and it's like I forgot what I was trying to say. Anyways, so apparently there was some work being done on making sure each of the planets that were colonized by humans, you know, were suitable for human life, obviously. And then things, you know, but it still works within that planet's system, I guess you could say, because Mars is still technically mostly desert, so it's like, you know, it's not green like, you know, someone might envision it. Like, it's not like Earth 2.0 for sure. Just certain areas, maybe, not all of them. And then Venus, like I said, has jungles, which as we all know, that's not very likely on Venus based on what we found out, so yeah, you never know. You never know. But it's very interesting, just on some of the things that this was setting up for. You know, this is kind of the prelude to Star Trek. I mean, even if you go back and look at some of this, you might even think, I mean, at least I am, it might even been an inspiration for Star Trek as well, this type of a future that they were envisioning. So, it's just that Star Trek kind of took it a few steps further, which, you know, as we all know, Star Trek likes to do, except recent adaptations, which seem to take it backwards. Anyways, so yes, if you are looking for something that's kind of Star Trek-esque, that kind of has, you know, that 1950s, what you want to call it, that feel-good feel, I guess you can say. You know, if you're looking for something that's kind of got, you know, the Nancy Drew feel to it, the Hardy Boys feel to it, that like, era, I would say. Because not quite the era. Because some of the problems that occur in that era don't come through, even though, yes, obviously a lot of the leads are male, there are female characters in the story. You just don't, the main focus is on these three leads and the commanding officer, so who are all male. There are other females involved. You just don't hear about them a whole lot. Simply because, like I said, the main leads are all male. And kind of has that same friendship dynamic that Bones, Kirk, and Spock would have. Or actually do have, I should say. You know, you got the one guy who's trying to get on the nerves of the alien, and unfortunately, however, since the alien kind of guy, he's still human, but he's from Venus, and since he's from Venus, apparently he's a little bit more hot-headed than Spock is, so he does react. Tom is the Corbett, apparently is the more cool-headed one of the three. And even he gets a little upset at some of the stuff that gets said. Is like, dude, you're kind of overstepping your boundaries here. But eventually you start to even like the characters that seem to start off unlikable, and then, you know, you kind of grow with these characters. At least they're understanding with each other and why they do end up liking each other. And then you end up liking them all in the end. So that I was definitely enjoying. There are definitely a couple of slow moments, unless you like sports, in which case there's a new kind of soccer game-ish. If you are interested in, you know, playing with balls made of mercury, as far as when I can understand it. But, you know, that was one of those moments that are just like, I'm getting bored of this real quick. That was just one of those, was like, okay, you can kind of seem excited, but it's like, for me, I kind of need a visual for a sports. I can't just read about it. I kind of need it visualized for me. So, you know, it's like something new. I need it visually. So I got bored of it really quick. I'm sure it's an interesting idea. It just didn't work for me. So, you know, it is what it is. So, anyways, that's Tom Corbett. It was Blast Off to Mars, I want to say. Stand By for Mars, sorry. Stand By for Mars. So Tom Corbett, Stand By for Mars. Again, it was originally a comic book series, and it'll also be turned into a TV show. You can watch some of them on YouTube. I know there's a few full episodes, and I'm gonna try and link them down below. But of the ones I have found, and there's a few that apparently have a few extra, because the whole space thing was pretty big back then. Hopefully it's gonna be big again. Maybe this will help. But yes, so anyways, if you're interested in, some space-themed books, adventures, this one will be right up your alley, I think. If you're not so sure about the sports and you're probably thinking you're going to be as bored with it as me, speed read through it. Just speed read through it. It's one of the slowest moments of this book. I've only just started on the second book, so I can't exactly tell you how the second one's going to be, but it's probably going to have a lot less training. I mean, this first book is basically a training montage. And an introduction to the characters and their world, so it's a great introduction, if you will. If you want something that's a little bit more action-packed, you can skip most of it until the end, like the last few chapters. That's when it really starts to get pretty action-packed, because the boys are gonna have to survive Mars. I don't want to give away too much. I just realized, oh shoot, I was gonna probably give away a spoiler there. I want you to read it and find out for yourself. Will they make it or not? Anyways, this is what I mean by Mars is still pretty much still Mars in this. So if you're having flashbacks to The Martian, good. Because, that's Mars. That's what Mars is supposed to be like. So, apparently they had more information on Mars back then than they did on Venus. That or the author of this series, or the Ghost Writers. Apparently they did Ghost Writers for this. But apparently they were hoping that there would be jungles on Venus. Just like, great imagination. I love it. I wish it were so. Anyways, so, yes, definitely, kind of a bumpy beginning. Ending's pretty good. The character development definitely is really good. I highly recommend it simply just for the characters alone. And if you are a big fan of the friendship between Kirk, Bones, and Spock, this is definitely the series for you. Like I said, I've only started the second one. According to what I've seen of the TV series, friendship really does get rocky. But at the end of this first book, it really feels like it's built on a stronger foundation, and they definitely are friends, and I think I like that more. So, yeah, definitely give Tom Corbett Space Cadet a check out. Both the books and the TV series. Oh, sorry, I almost said movies there. But the TV series and the books. You know what? Might as well hit up the comics while you're at it. Just to see. So, yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks for coming by. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there, everyone. Let's reach for the stars, and God bless.